Hi, my name is Manjeevan and I'm from Monash University, Malaysia. I'll be talking on cyberbullying and its economic impact in my presentation today. Cyberbullying goes beyond a social issue. It's being talked about a lot in the current times, and it has definitely become not just a personal problem, but it also affects economies out there. There's a lot of social costs for individuals, for companies, and for public systems that is generated from cyberbullying. Though it may seem trivial, it is actually a serious thing that needs to be looked at. And there is definitely the need for a prevention for the long term. We look at the global scale of cyberbullying. Out of the employees that were surveyed in 2024, about half of them have experience or witnessed workplace harassment. And from these cases, another half of them have encountered bullying in their workplace. And in the online space, 1 out of 3 young adults has faced bullying in some manner. And some studies have shown that bullying can cause workplace productivity loss, though the exact numbers remain to be seen. When someone is being bullied, they will definitely be stressed out or have anxiety. And this in turn produces lower output, higher absenteeism. And the direct loss of work hours will directly impact the company's performance. And when it impacts the company performance, this is when the company actually loses money. So it's very important for bullying to be tackled before it gets worse. We now look at the mental health cost that is associated with the cyberbullying. So whenever someone is being bullied, they may go and get mental health services such as therapy or counseling. And the bullying has definitely increased the healthcare utilization, particularly for women, okay, based on the survey published in PubMed, which may contribute actually to higher insurance costs for the company. And it is not only just cost that is being incurred by the company, but also the well-being of employees is definitely being impacted. And based on one of the reports, as you can see on the right, the loss of productivity is close to about 200 billion, just looking at the untreated mental illness, which can be partially caused by bullying. Whenever bullying happens, for instance, in the workplace, organizations or the companies actually face legal risks. And this can actually impact their financial stability. Why? Because they actually incur legal fees to defend against these particular bullying claims. And this immediate cost actually impacts their short-term financial health. Again, bullying is never good, especially when it comes to the cost that is being incurred to the companies. Now, so whenever cyberbullying incidents go viral, especially on social media, the first thing that happens, it damages the brand trust. And not only damaging brand trust, consumer boycotts and backlash on the social media when negative comments come up can lead to long-term revenue losses. And this may need a lot of PR and marketing efforts just to fix the issue. So avoiding this at the first place is more important. So whenever a company doesn't comply to certain rules and regulation, this can lead to fines. For instance, the GDPR for data protection, the Digital Services Act, and the AI Act for AI governance. And these are all acts or regulations out there that companies need to comply. And whenever they do not comply, they can get fined. And what happens to them is they will actually incur financial burden on their companies or businesses. We now look at the long-term impact for businesses. So whenever there is a call for boycott or there is a negative sentiment about the company, the loss of customer loyalty and the market position of the company may make a lot of difference for the long term growth of the company. And continuous disruption will need the company to actually revise what they're going to do next. And even though the PR can fix whatever damage that has been done, the recovery won't be within weeks. It may actually take years with a lot of money spent just to fix the particular problem. In the past, harassment used to happen physically in the office, for example. But since the pandemic, a lot of workers are working either hybrid or remote. And harassment now actually occurs through email, chat apps, and even video calls. And this has even intensified today. So what happens to the employee? They actually have reduced morale. They may leave the company, you have higher turnover, and employees get disengaged. And it's very important for the employees to actually highlight this to their superior. Looking at a case study, so several organizations, they face lawsuit related to workplace harassment. So which brings the question that there is need for proactive measures to be taken. And the PR fallout resulted in loss of clients who see the company negatively. And whenever companies ignore bullying in their workplace, it actually, in the long run, brings out a high cost for them to actually fix the problem. So whenever you have a cyberbullying incident and it goes viral, for instance, online, there will need to be a lot of investment in terms of the PR and marketing to fix the problem. Some companies even go to the extent of rebranding, changing their entire name, going to a whole new set of customers. And whenever you start anything fresh, this recovery can take years and you don't know what is going to happen. Now we look at the social media and online platforms. They typically invest billions in content moderation. So some of the content moderation is done by human, partially is being done by using AI, and typically it's a combination of both. Okay, so whenever you have got ineffective moderation, basically over moderation or too little moderation, that can basically have got negative consequences, which can lead to fines from regulators or even loss of ads because people don't want to go to that particular platform, for instance. Now, we look at cyberbullying's role in financial fraud. You can see that a lot of times you get in your email someone saying that I'm still waiting for a payment or so on. And a lot of times that someone just go and clicks on that and they think it's a genuine email and they give their information out and they may lose money. So the thing is that when someone loses money, they have less faith, or their faith actually loses in the financial institution for not protecting their particular interests. Now we look at how AI can actually be leveraged for cyberbullying detection. Sentiment analysis is there with pattern recognition to flag abusive behavior, especially in online content, for example. And with the different languages out there, especially in Asia, Europe, and the other parts of the world, it's very important to understand the context of the sentence, because in each country, a certain word could be meaning something. Okay? And machine learning can actually help to detect emerging trends in harmful language. Basically, during elections, for example, what are the words people are using before and after, for example. And continuous improvements in these particular tools are needed because the way people speak may evolve over time. Based on the AI moderation, there's always pro and cons. The pro is definitely a faster response, reduce manual labor. However, sometimes the AI can actually misunderstand contextual things such as certain languages spoken. Okay, and it can be very biased. So having both a human and the machine working hand in hand, in moderating is definitely very important. Having a good public and private collaboration is important. Why? Cross-sector partnerships can basically give a unified digital safety standards. For example, collaboration between tech firms, governments, and NGOs working together on finding ways to reduce or eliminating cyberbullying online or in the workplace will definitely lead to best practices, and it will basically lead to improved policy compliance and also getting new technological solutions in order to resolve this. In the context of ESG, so online safety is definitely an emerging area and is basically a very critical component of social in the ESG. And investors typically look at how corporate digital safety policies are being looked at in ESG evaluations. So having a positive ESG profile definitely brings out a better brand reputation for the company, which gets more investment for the company. So it's very important to look at the online safety aspect. And for businesses, they have to act proactively, not just wait until something happens. So preventive measures like preventing the bullying to happen in the first place by moderating content is definitely key so that they can reduce long-term financial risk and also legal liabilities. And having safe, healthy digital environments will actually improve productivity and help employees to stay. And finally, when you have a good company and without any issues, you will ensure that customers actually trust your brand and will continue trusting your brand. As we look into the future, you can see that the next generation AI tools will definitely be better in increasing their detection accuracy in terms of the different nuances of the languages. And we can definitely see that more and more countries will definitely impose stricter global regulations and more enforcement on online platforms, for example. And businesses should actually move from reactive crisis management, such as when the issue has happened, to detecting before it happens and to resolve it, or to even stop it from even happening. So while AI is good in improving content moderation, bias and false positive definitely remain as one of the ongoing challenges. And sharing data across different sectors can definitely improve the patterns of how cyberbullying happens. And collaboration between the industry, policymakers, and even academia will definitely drive technological innovation in terms of developing tools for detecting cyberbullying. So, as my final thoughts, cyberbullying is basically a huge economic risk with widespread business and also societal impacts. So, tackling it is definitely the most important thing to do. Coordinated action from all parties, whether it's public, private, academia, is important in order to mitigate the reputational damage, long-term financials of the particular company, and basically the well-being of people. Not only employees, but also the ordinary person out there. And integrating technology, policy, and collaboration is definitely key for long-lasting solutions. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation.